In this video, I'll look at how accurate is the viewfinder on the Instax Mini 11. I'll also share some tips on how to get the perfect framing for your Instax shots. So the issue with the Instax cameras is that the viewfinder doesn't look through the lens. As opposed to if you have a DSLR, the viewfinder is looking straight through the lens. So what that results in is that what the viewfinder sees and what the lens sees can be two different things. How much of an issue this is depends on how far the object is from the camera. If the object is far away, the difference is really small. But if the object is really close to the camera, the difference can be quite large and it can really mess up the framing of the picture. So for people who are in a hurry, here's a 10-second conclusion. The viewfinder sees less of an area than what shows up in the actual print at the end. And for any objects that are at least 1 meter away, so 3 feet or so, the center of the viewfinder lines up really nicely with the center of the picture. If that's all you came here for, thank you for stopping by, and please smash the like button before you leave. For everyone else, welcome to my channel. I'm Matej. On this channel, I focus on tips and tricks on how to get the best out of your Instax cameras. I have the Instax Mini 11. I'm planning to do a lot of new videos on that camera, and also I have a bunch of videos posted on the Instax Mini Elite Play. So please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content that might be interesting to you. So to figure out how accurate the viewfinder is on the Instax Mini 11, I took my iPhone and took a picture through the viewfinder of the Instax Mini 11. And then right after, I took a picture with the Instax Mini camera itself to get a print. So I did this at 4 different distances. I did it far away, so I took a picture of a house across the street. Then I took some pictures of crafts on the wall about 1 meter away. Then I took a portrait about 1/2 meter away. And then I took a close-up of a drawing about 30 centimeters away, so about 1 foot away. From the picture of the house across the street, I can make 2 important conclusions. First, the actual Instax picture shows significantly more than what can be seen in the viewfinder. You can see that there is more room on each side of the house in the Instax print right here compared to the viewfinder. The bottom lines up quite well between the viewfinder and the Instax print, as you can see by this yellow arrow in the road. But there's a ton more room in the Instax print compared to the viewfinder right here. Second conclusion is that the center of the viewfinder, denoted by the circle here, lines up quite well with the center of the Instax print. I tried to make a little cross here with a marker. This is great news because it allows you to pretty accurately frame your shots. For the 1 meter distance, I took a picture of some paper crafts that my kids put up on the wall. The story here is pretty much the same as with the picture of the house. The viewfinder is tighter than the print, but they are centered around the same point. In the third picture at 1/2 meter, I tried to correct the parallax error as is suggested in the camera manual right here on page 11. Here, the fact that the viewfinder is about 5 centimeters higher than the lens gives you a different vantage point. What surprised me that even at this distance, you don't have to make a huge correction. In this particular print, I overcorrected to the bottom left. My goal was to have the head exactly in the center of the print. In the last test, I took a picture of a penguin craft for my son. The subject was about 0.3 meters from the camera, and in this case, the difference between the viewfinder and the print are quite massive. As in the last picture, I tried to have the subject in the center, but in this case, undercorrected. As you can see in the viewfinder, the penguin is in the bottom left, and in the print, it's kind of leaning towards the top right. So here are some tips to help you with framing of your shots with the Instax Mini 11. So for any objects that are at least 1 meter away or further, the print will show more area than what you see in the viewfinder. So if the objects are far away, you can frame pretty tightly in the viewfinder, knowing that you have room to spare in the actual print. So for any objects that are about 1/2 meter away, I suggest to use the correction that is described in the manual. So when you frame your picture, after you frame it, do a correction a little bit to the bottom left corner like this. So for any objects that are closer than 1/2 meter, like 30 centimeters, which is the minimum focusing distance of the camera, I suggest to just completely forget about the viewfinder. At these really short distances, the difference between the viewfinder and the lens is just too large to get accurate framing in the viewfinder. So in that case, when I take pictures of anything really close, I just forget about the viewfinder completely and I just try to manually line up the lens and the object itself and then take a picture. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you found this content useful, please consider subscribing. I'm planning a lot more Instax videos in the future, and I'll see you in the next video.